we still have a winter storm of sorts going on in the interior areas of the Northeast tonight and down the Appalachian Mountains. Well, they got blizzard warnings still up in parts in West Virginia and Western Maryland. Also, some action up in the Northern Plains and across the Northern Rockies. Uh, winter storm warnings, winter storm watches, winter weather advisories, and avalanche warnings. And we've still got flooding issues going on in Washington State from the atmospheric river that came in. Um, we come in a lot more classy, though, Joe and I, on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast, which you can support. If you shop on Amazon, use our referral link that's on the descriptor to this podcast on YouTube. Just use that link to get you to Amazon, do whatever shopping you're going to do. Amazon throws us a little coin for sending you there. And this way, you don't see commercials during the live stream. And that's a good thing. And Tempest by Weatherflow, the revolutionary Tempest weather system is yours for the asking. And get one, and you join the fastest growing observing weather network on the planet. The link for this also on the descriptor to this podcast. At some point, I'll put it up on the chat board. Use the coupon code. There's two coupon codes. There's a holiday coupon code that you can get at the Tempest website, as long as you use our link to get there. But you could still use the coupon code
Autumn 2025.
If you do, you will get
10% off.
Okay, I'm going to start. I'm going to start the show a little Christmassy because I've been struggling with my Lionel trains. So I hadn't put them up in like 4 years, and before that, they sat in boxes for a long time. Uh, and lack of the use of them causes the engines not to work right. And I have, Joe, I have five Lionel engines. You think that one of them would work correctly, and the only one that worked was my original Lionel train set that my father bought me when I was 2 years old. So it's 64 years old, and that engine worked. The only problem with it is that it's a small engine and it can only pull like 3 or 4 cars. And I have a whole fleet of, box cars and passenger cars and all the rest of it. So I decided I'm going to go, rather than try to find somebody to repair my engines, which would take weeks anyway, I might as well buy a new one. Probably in the long run, it was cheaper. So as a result, I bought a Williams New York Central Shark Nose, New York Central Shark Nose diesel engine with a dummy engine that goes with it. And I have been playing. This thing is amazing.
Okay.
Take a look. There it goes. And around the tree, through the tunnel, through the other tunnel. And there you have it. Look out for the Super Jeep! Look out for the Super Jeep! Woo! So anyway, that was my day today. I couldn't wait for the FedEx guy to get here with my engine. It was awesome. Just an awesome feeling. So anyway, I wanted to share that with everybody because we are all, gearing toward the holidays and gearing toward Christmas. And you need to get your grandson. You need to get your grandson a train set.
Oh, yeah.
No?
You know what he would do? He would probably take the train and look at it and then throw it off to one
All right,
side.
when he's a little bit older,
Uh-huh.
because I have to tell you, with all the kinds of toys they have these days, and they're all, these electronic things that do, basically mush their minds because all they're doing is burying themselves on tablets and all the rest of it. Yeah, a train set, they have to build it. They have to, create a layout. They can build a village. It gives them imagination here. They got to use their imagination in order to, you know get it done. And I just think it's no boy, no kid, but particularly for boys. I think boys, probably go for it more so than girls, um, but either boy or girl, but certainly for boys, I think this is a great show, a great thing um, to get for.
By the way, you mentioned an avalanche warning.
Yes,
You want to see an example of an avalanche?
yeah, go ahead.
Put up my screen.
No, it's up.
It's up.
Yeah,
All right, here, ladies and gentlemen, is my version of what an avalanche is like.
nice.
That was
Nice.
gorilla. That was the late great gorilla
Gorilla
monsoon.
Monsoon. I was reading yesterday that which one? Andre the Giant, I think it was. Andre
Yeah.
the Giant apparently holds the world's record for the most beers consumed in a 24-hour period.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, he was like I was reading about the fact that people were just amazed at how much alcohol that he could consume and not even get remotely buzzed. But
Well,
any,
the man stood 7'4" and he weighed like 480 pounds.
right. So, there's that. There's that little bit about him. All right, so we are, we're dealing with some precipitation tonight. You had some. Did you have any snow at the start?
No, I did. I came down here to do some work. It wasn't doing anything, and when I came back upstairs a couple hours later, it was raining. So, if there was anything, maybe a couple of wet snowflakes, but that was about all.
Yeah, I saw Paul Roman, I think, on the chat board earlier tonight before the show started, because the chat board usually opens up as soon as I uh, create the show on YouTube. So it was up since 2 o'clock this afternoon. But he said up in Ulster County where he is, they got 4 inches. And I
If
saw a
he
few
got
people.
4 inches, he must have been in the elevated area of Ulster, or something
Yeah,
in the western half of Ulster, which is like leaning up against the Catskill range. My daughter teaches in. Well, she doesn't teach in New Paltz, but she lives in New Paltz. I'm sure if she had gotten 4 inches of snow, she would have alerted us or told us. But apparently, she did not get anything like that.
she didn't say a thing.
No.
All right, well, there's that. I also got some messages from a few people in eastern Pennsylvania that the temperature just stopped going up, and probably if you draw a line from Scranton to Allentown, just west of there, the temperature got to like 32 and then stopped, and they got a nice surprise, three or so inches of snow out of that. So anyway, we're going to get rid of this system. We're going to dry out the next couple of days. It's going to turn colder. It doesn't look like anything extreme, but still below average. And then we go into the weekend. I absorbed a bunch of the guidance today, which was a little conflicting, but the GFS finally started to come around to the idea that maybe we're going to get something. The European remains pretty much consistent with the idea of maybe a 1 to 3 or 2 to 4 inch snowfall. In fact, I'll show it to you later. The 18Z European actually raised the snow amounts a little bit. So I'm kind of leaning in that direction, Joe. That we're going to maybe deal with something that later overnight, Saturday night into Sunday morning, that could leave a few. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Could leave a few inches, like a 1 to 3, 2 to 4 type situation. I don't think it's
Mm-hmm.
got the dynamics to be anything more than that. But it might be a nice little quick system before we get into the ice box for later Sunday into Monday.
Thing that I checked, uh, the Climate Prediction Center, winter day 4 to 7 winter weather outlook, and well, we'll look at this later. We'll
Okay.
talk about this later. So, but
Yeah.
there's if you're thinking along the lines, there's a conflict in what the folks over at the Weather Prediction Center are suggesting. But
Yeah,
again, we'll
I
look
know.
at this
Well,
later.
and that was, they did that off overnight guidance because that forecast was put out before the midday stuff came out. So, yeah, they had it yesterday. They had an area of a 10 to 30% for at least three, and we showed that on the show. And then I noticed this morning they took it all out. So and they haven't, they do an update a little like at 11 o'clock in the morning or 12 o'clock, and they didn't have anything in there. There hasn't been another. They don't do another one of those until midnight tonight. So we're not going to get anything new from them. All right, let's roll along and see where we're going. We got a nice crowd to start the show with tonight. Welcome to those of you on the chat board and to everybody in the background lurking about on tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. No schedule changes indicated so far, but I think tomorrow we'll let you know if we're going to maybe add something for Saturday or for Friday. We'll figure it out. But we're here Sunday through Thursday at 7:35 p.m. So if we don't add a show, we'll still be here Sunday after tomorrow. So subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss us. And of course, if you like the show, they should bang the like button because Joe's got a bell to ring, and he's been ringing it lately.
That's right. This could be our third consecutive 100 plus like day. So we'll see if that indeed comes to pass.
Okay, so we still have various winter weather advisories and winter storm warnings and lake effect snow warnings in upstate New York, starting from the Catskills and then just basically going north from there. Also in southwestern New York and northwestern PA, there's a couple of counties, including Erie, where they have winter storm warnings up. And then, of course, we continue to see these blizzard warnings that they've put up in Garrett County in western Maryland, and then down into the mountains of West Virginia. Let me see if I can get the right Weather Service map here. Well, here's one of them. And advisories extending south from there, from Beckley to Bluefield, and then further south, going into northwestern North Carolina. See if we can get the full shot here. I had it last night. Now, how come I can't get it now? Oh, this is so annoying. Hold on a second.
Technology.
No, it's not that so much. I'm just not clicking on the right spot. I'm going to try to do it again. Let's see if I do it here. What do I get? Oh, here it is. This is the one I wanted. So you can see the extent of this in western Maryland and then down but this is pretty much on the west side of the mountains here. Because that side of the mountains is exposed to lake effect plus wind. So the blizzard warning continues. See if they have any observations from there. We'll look at the list to see if there's anything going on. Pineville, West Virginia has light snow. Otherwise, right now, a few people have light rain. Beckley has light snow with a west-northwest wind of 23. So far, they've had 0.01, so it seems as if it just got started. The snow is forecast to last into Thursday morning. Steve Lapointe, thanks for hitting Super Chat. And yes, Mr. Tolerus was supposed to be joining us on a regular basis on Wednesday nights, but I have not heard from him. I messaged him yesterday. I messaged him several times today. Perhaps he was kept after. Maybe he was kept late today at charm school. So, there's always that possibility. But sorry, I thought Dave was going to be here, but he's not. We have new winter weather advisories in South Dakota and into western North Dakota. I want to see what what is this red box there? Ice storm warning, Joe. An ice storm warning in effect for whatever county this is. 14 degrees right now in Mobridge Municipal Airports, which I've never heard of. And they're forecasting for snow tonight, a wintry mix. I'm sorry, snow going in this evening, a wintry mix tonight with a low of 16, and then freezing rain tomorrow with a high of 33. So that ought to be a gem when that's all done playing out. And we've got various watches and warnings up through Montana. The avalanche warnings are still going on in northern Idaho and in northwestern Montana. And we still have some flash flood watches up in northern Idaho as well as in parts of Washington State. So here's our low in the east. It's just east of Buffalo. The trailing cold front, at least it was at 4 o'clock. It's probably closer to the coast now. And once that goes by, the wind machine will start to work again.
I'm just checking to see whether or not Mr. Tolerus had placed anything up concerning this upcoming weekend, and he did 3 hours ago, Joe. He did a pretty long discussion and had maps to talk about his discussion. So I don't know if you want me to try to bring that up or not, but
No, we'll who knows? He may try to come on tomorrow, in which case he'll be charged an exorbitant inconvenience fee for not showing up, not showing up tonight. So our front comes through. It's going to get windy and colder. I'm just looking at some of the temperatures behind this front. I mean, they're cold, but they're not crazy cold. They're mostly in the coldest temperatures that I'm seeing here up in parts of Wisconsin and Minnesota, teens and low 20s there, mid to upper 20s as you start coming further south into Illinois and Indiana. We're going to get cold. It's going to be below average, but it's not going to be anything extreme for Thursday and Friday.
yeah, the killer about tomorrow is going to be the wind. The wind is going to be gusting at times to 30, maybe even 40 miles an hour. Temperatures are going to be in the lower 30s, so if you factor that wind in, it probably is going to feel like teens and low 20s during the afternoon hours. And as far as sky conditions are concerned, because of the fact I know that the various models are saying near 0% chance of or probability of any kind of precipitation, but it's such a significant upper level disturbance, an upper level trough that's going to be crossing through or crossing over the Northeast during the day tomorrow, that I would not rule out the possibility of a snow shower or flurry activity in the afternoon. We'll probably start off with some sun, and then the mere fact that we're going to have that chilly, unstable air mass building over us, cold, unstable air mass building over us, will probably lead to self-destruct sunshine later in the day. And from out of those clouds that do build up, we might have a couple of snow showers and flurries. So it may still be autumn as far as astronomical considerations are concerned, but it's going to feel every bit like midwinter out there tomorrow with the cold, with the wind, and again, possibly the passing snow shower or flurry later in the day.
The cold front is trailing down through the south. It's passed. It's passed through western North Carolina. It's passed through here in North Georgia, and some of that colder air to the north is going to funnel down tonight, tomorrow. But even here too, won't be too bad. And then it runs down to the Gulf Coast. Meanwhile, you can see it's just sort of a mess in the west as far as uh, how they analyze this. They've got a warm front running through Montana. You got temperatures in the 50s across central and western Montana, while it's in the teens on the other side in northeastern Montana and into North Dakota, even some single numbers. So that's causing issues with respect to those advisories that you saw in the Dakotas and back into northeastern Montana. And eventually, the colder air that's to the north is going to drain southward when that low goes by. Plus, we still have moisture flowing into the Pacific Northwest with the west winds and another cold front and another storm system that's out offshore. So they're going to stay pretty busy. And here's the satellite loop for tonight. You see the system in the east. You see the trail of moisture from the Pacific streaming up into southwest Canada and in the Pacific Northwest, and then coming over the top of the ridge in the west and dropping southeastward. And it's from this stream that we're going to get the disturbance that's going to start the process of not only bringing down the colder air for Sunday and Monday, and probably into the first part of Tuesday. But when that Arctic front goes by on Saturday, it stalls to the south. And the key is, are we going to get a wave that develops on that front? Nothing exceptional, just a ripple on the front that's going to move along, and we'll get maybe an area of precip that develops and puts down a bit of snow overnight Saturday night to Sunday morning along the coastal plain, eastern Pennsylvania to southern New England, down probably as far south as Delaware and Maryland, and maybe even northeastern Virginia.
Well, that's a big question. I did the GFS, at least the GFS that I looked at from 12Z, had the system kind of suppressed. It looked like it didn't call for anything. Same for the icon, I might add.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, the Canadian model and also the European a little bit more robust, bucking that wave of low pressure up a little bit further to the north and suggesting that, as you just noted, Joe, that there may be some snow from eastern Pennsylvania into southern New England. Still need a day or two more to get close enough so that we could come up with a bit more confidence as to, and you would like to see all of the models on the same page.
All
It
right.
seemingly doesn't seem to happen anymore, but you'd like to see all the models talking about the same thing, but we'll see.
Yeah, the GFS overnight gave nothing. The 12Z run actually gave some precip, gave actually a few inches, central and South Jersey and point south at about an inch or so, or an inch or two, northern New Jersey to Long Island. And then the 18Z came in and gave nothing to no one. So, there's that. And the European has been on the opposite end of this, where it's got a little bit more of a robust wave and more robust snow amounts. But you're right. We'll have to wait for tomorrow. Here's the wide view of the radar tonight. You see the action in the Northeast, and we still have some showers going on across New Jersey and Long Island. And Mr. Rayo is going to take us on a little bit of a tour here with regards to some of the local radars to see what they're doing at 8 o'clock Eastern Time on this Wednesday, December the 10th.
Okay, so first of all, let me hit the share button so that all of you can see what I'm seeing. And we will do that. Boom. And I'll blow this up a little bit larger so that it looks even more noticeable. You can see that for a while we've had some pretty good rains falling across parts of the area, parts of the tri-state area. This is, of course, the Upton, New York radar, where you see the flashes of yellow, and it seems like everywhere to the east of the Westchester, Connecticut line into southwestern Connecticut, especially Ridgefield, you're seeing more than just a little bit of rain. You're probably seeing moderate to even heavy rainfall falling in this zone here. In New York City proper, moderate, light to moderate rainfall. Also some flashes of yellow showing up over parts of Nassau County. But if you look to the west, you can see the back edge of this area of rain. It's already pretty much cleared most of northern New Jersey, except for the northeast portion and on toward, let's say, down toward Newark. But everywhere west of there, it looks like it's cleared out. It also looks like it's cleared out now, or the precipitation has ended over portions of western Orange County. And again, all of this is moving quickly to the east. So if it's still raining, let's say in the lower Hudson Valley where you're watching me right now, it's not going to continue to do that for very much longer, maybe another hour or so. And then that should end. And for the rest of you, well, again, the system is moving at such a rapid pace so that probably the last to see the rain out in eastern Long Island, that'll probably be sometime, I would say, by judging by the way the movement is, maybe 10 or 11 o'clock tonight, maybe closer to midnight out toward the Twin Forks. But it's all moving. It's all moving out quickly, and it will be followed in by a gradual clearing, it looks like, after midnight tonight. We're going to check up in the Boston area, and you can see there that they have generally light to moderate rain, although there are some flashes of yellow indicating some bouts of heavy rain, perhaps over northern Rhode Island and portions of east central Massachusetts. The Cape and the islands are being brushed by a little bit of light rain. If we go further south and west down toward, let's say, Philadelphia, you can see the back edge of the line. Look at all that heavy rain that has moved through portions of south central and central New Jersey, but all of that very quickly fading out and moving out to the east. And you can see again, most of eastern Pennsylvania now is out in the dry air, and that's going to be the story for later tonight as the cold air begins to push in. The cold front pushing all of this moisture to the east, and behind it, a dry and much colder airflow will be in place. Let's go further back. I know there's not much to see here, but in Buffalo, they are probably seeing some snow and snow shower activity. This looks to be perhaps a little bit of lake effect. If we get that gusty, cold, west-northwesterly wind blowing over Lake Erie and Lake Ontario, you could see that the activity is light to moderate nature here. And again, the cold air coming in on gusty west northwesterly winds later on in the night tonight. Where else could we go, Joe? Because we can go to let's go to Minnesota quickly. There's
Okay.
nothing going on out there
Actually, go in
really.
the if you want something where there's some snow going on, you can go in the central North or central South Dakota down into Nebraska. There's some snow there.
Oh, okay. Well, let's take a look at Lincoln. Lincoln. Oh no, it's North Platte. I'm sorry. North Platte, Platte, the Platte, blah, 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 blah. North Platte, Nebraska. Seeing some snow falling, and you can see it's generally coming from northwest to southeast across the region. We can go a little bit further to the north of there, up to well, we can go to Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and you can see again some light activity, mostly to the west of Sioux Falls, not actually in Sioux Falls proper, but to the west. There is again that band or area of snow coming from northwest to southeast, moving through portions of South Dakota and also Nebraska. We'll take one more look here. Why don't we check out Rapid City, South Dakota? And you can see there that the activity, at least at the beginning of the loop, looking pretty good, and then kind of fades out a little bit. And again, most and now whereas down here it starts off, the loop starts off with quite a bit of snowfall. All of that pretty well is gone by the time the loop is coming to an end, some 3 hours later. But in any case, it's cold enough out there for snow certainly, and they are seeing some areas of snow again, as Joe pointed out, over in portions of Nebraska and in South Dakota as well.
All right. Um, well, my Zoom screen is acting really weird tonight. It's not doing anything weird on the air, but just me trying to manage it here. I just want to mention Steve Lapointe. I think I said, but if I didn't, thank you for hitting super chat tonight. And Chuck Cardillo hit super chat. Says, "I love your train set. It brought back memories when he had his Lionel train set." I think everybody that's in our genre, age wise, had a train set at one point in their life or another. But no matter. All right, let's get back to what's going on, so we can move on to the models here and take a look at what's going to be going on down the road. As far as precipitation is concerned, WPC starting from 8 o'clock tonight and going through next Wednesday night. Basically, less than a quarter of an inch, and in some places less than a tenth of an inch. This forecast was issued actually was updated at 5:23 this afternoon or evening. You can see the streak of precip that the darker green that you can see from western Pennsylvania and then kind of running up through southern Ohio and Indiana and Illinois with a streak of a half an inch of liquid is with one of these specific disturbances that's going to be sliding southeastward along the Arctic boundary. And then
I
there's
don't. We
another.
don't. We're not seeing any maps, though, Joe.
Well, you should be. They're up.
Maybe
Are you
unless
stalled?
something's wrong with mine. Unless I'm running way behind here. I might
You
be running
must
way
be.
behind.
Yeah, no, I have it. I mean, my screen, I got it up. I got it up there. And everybody,
Okay.
yeah, they can see
Yeah,
it.
I
So
see it
yeah,
now. I see it
okay.
now. Okay.
Anyway, uh, that streak is mostly snow. And by the way, I was reading today that for this time of year in December, the North America has record snow cover on the ground, which is pretty cool. You wouldn't have would have thunk it. And also more big rains in the Pacific Northwest. Every day we've looked at this, there's been an area of 10 inches or more, and today it's they're still there of 10 inches or more on top of. I have no idea how much precip has fallen there in the last 3 or 4 days, but it's been quite a bit, and it's going to continue. Also in northern Idaho, northwestern Montana, and then up the Rockies. So with the warm air that's in the west, this is why they're dealing with the avalanche issues. So I have I'm going to run the GFS through first, then I'll go to the European because we might have the 18Z European by the time we try it. But here's our system for tonight. Low pressure there over Lake Ontario. The lake effect wind machine going on in a big way overnight tonight into tomorrow, and extending down the Appalachians. Our showers are just about done. They'll be done in a little while in southeastern New England, and then the gradient is pretty tight. So the wind machine working its way tomorrow into tomorrow evening, and even still a bit breezy going into the first part of Friday morning. Here's the first lead disturbance that runs down from the northern plains into Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky, and Ohio and West Virginia. This is Thursday night into Friday morning. It weakens as it moves southeastward, so we don't have to worry about that. Uh, then on Saturday, a little Arctic boundary is going to pass, and now here comes the second disturbance, and you see another streak of snow in virtually the same place. But the GFS at 18Z really didn't do very much with it. At 12Z, which is what I have on the screen, you can see that by sometime between 1 a.m. and 7 a.m. Sunday, there's some light snow in southern New England, back to the lower Hudson Valley, northern New Jersey, a little bit steadier if you go to central and south Jersey down into northeast Virginia, and then starts to amplify a bit after it pulls out, of course, because the low offshore is going to begin to strengthen, and then it's pulling down very cold air for Sunday night into Monday, with this what will be the last cold high in this sequence, because as we go through next week, things are going to warm up some. I don't know that they're going to warm up a lot, but they're going to warm up some. We'll maybe see another front with some rain at the end of next week, and then some colder air comes in behind that. Nothing crazy, but it'll get us down at least back to average for this time of year. But it seems as if, whenever you get into a streak where you get a pattern that lasts, something that lasts for 2 or 3 weeks and breaks down, it's natural for it to break down. And what I think is going to probably happen is after a short period of time, we'll probably see it reload to some extent. And that may come late in the month or maybe at the very beginning of January. At least that's the plan that I have. Now, whether nature cooperates or not, I couldn't tell you. The European, and this is because it has a better defined upper air system with this next weather system, and I actually do have the 18Z run here of the European. So same sequence of events with the lead system falling apart, and now here's the second one, and the Europeans are just a bit more robust with this, and it actually, it's a little more robust because in central South Jersey it actually starts it off as rain, and then it goes over to snow, and there's actually a little bit of dark blue snow there come Sunday morning because colder air will be pulled southward, and that's at 10 o'clock, and then by 1 in the afternoon, it's got starts to wrap up a little low there east of New Jersey and well south of Long Island, but it's out there. So again, I'm trying to kind of balance out how these models are handling things, and really what it boils down to, folks, is this upper trough that's going to be swinging around, dropping through the Great Lakes, and then an arm is going to rotate around it. And you see it right there. And the Europeans got a much sharper trough. That's not a bad looking trough, Joe, that swings through come Sunday. Uh,
It's a pity. It's slightly positively tilted as it's passing across the axis, is passing across the tri-state New York area. Now, if that thing were a little bit further to the west, as it begins to tilt more negatively, then it could get really interesting here by early Sunday, because that would generate it will eventually generate a rather potent and intense low pressure system. But in this particular case, it's just starting to get revved up Sunday morning
and
as
and,
the
and
whole system.
we would catch the beginnings of the revving up, which is what the European is suggesting.
Right,
But then you look at the
right,
GFS's
right,
upper,
and
the and the GFS's upper air is very unimpressive. It contrasts to the sharp European. It's a much broader. It doesn't have that V-shaped look. It's just a positively tilted trough that just moves along and is more
right.
suppressed. So whichever model gets Eastern Canada correct is going to be the model that wins in this scenario. Again, I'm going to lean to the idea that we are going to get something out of this. But it's Wednesday. We're talking Sunday. I mean, maybe tomorrow night we could. I might be able to give you an early guess. Uh, Assuming that the models on the overnight and during the day tomorrow start to show what's happening. And if you need to see the icon, um, Nick M, okay, I can show you the icon, but it's not the same 500. But you can see the icon, and the icon's kind of like the GFS. Actually, it's even more suppressed than the GFS. It's got it keeps the trough relatively weak. And the Canadian in the upper air is more like the European, where it's got a much stronger, much more well-defined upper air system there that uh, tilts around and goes eventually cuts off in south of Nova Scotia. So that this storm will probably intensify quite nicely as it heads, as it heads out into the Atlantic. So again, as I said just a little while ago, whoever gets the upper air right, whichever model has got the best uh, picture of of Eastern Canada is going to be the one that's going to win this game. And this is the latest on the Europeans' view of the Madden-Julian oscillation, because we are Madden-Julian oscillation freaks here on the Joe and Joe Weather Show podcast. We are in the neutral zone, but we're coming out of the neutral zone over the next few days and then go back into phase 8, which is the cold phase, and stay in phase 8. Looks like right through Christmas Eve and beyond. So even though the atmosphere looks like it's preparing for a moderation, if we're going into phase 8 and assuming that this is all coupled along the way from the Western Pacific all the way to the East Coast, then the warm up should not last very long. And the other clue I would look at is if we look at the 10 millibar, the stratosphere on the GFS, where it continues to just kind of show a weak, stretched out polar vortex, and it stays that way pretty much through the whole forecast period. I mean, we go out to 384 hours, Joe. It's got almost like a V shape to it. It's really stretched from the North Pole all the way down into the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley. So, looking at this and looking at the Madden-Julian oscillation, any warm up that we see coming up should not last all that long. Uh, that's that's my little old never to be humble opinion.
Well, it seems that we're going to start seeing a warming trend by the end of next week. And unfortunately, for all of you who are snow lovers and are hoping for a white Christmas, the warm air or the milder air is going to be arriving at the wrong time, perhaps setting the stage for, near or even above normal temperatures by Christmas time. Now,
Yeah, but hold on. Let me get that map up. This is what the GFS has for. Can you see it? That's Christmas Day.
I know that in 360 hour, the was it the 18Z or whatever had
Yeah, the 348.
yeah,
Lock it in, Joe. It's got
yeah,
a wipe out white Christmas. If it's on the 348 hour, it must be true.
yes, exactly.
Just for laughs, I want to see what kind of snow amounts it threw out. Hold on a second. Let's see. And I,
I
of
don't. I'm not
course,
seeing. I'm not seeing any maps, and a couple of people say I don't see it either.
oh,
Let's see it, Joe.
I just switched it back. I just switched it back. Hang on. No, give me a second. I took the maps off and I put them on again. No, this is 24-hour snowfall. Um, let's see. What do I want here? 24-hour snowfall, 348 hours. So we'll go to 360. There you go. Um, so look, Joe, lock it in. It's the box. These are Boxing Day numbers. Okay. Just now, this is total, so it's got the lousy 1 to 3 or two. Well, actually, no, it doesn't because the GFS on this run gave nothing. On the 18Z run, it didn't give anything. So for Sunday, so this is all from on the 348 hour. Lock it in, folks. Get out. Who sung White Christmas? Was it Bing Crosby?
Yes.
Get your Bing Crosby records out. Okay. Hopefully somebody is. I hope everybody realizes that I'm being just a sad, tad sarcastic. Okay.
You got to be careful because somebody will say, "I saw Joe last night. Joe Chiaffi is showing maps, and we're gonna get 2 feet of snow on Christmas Day."
Well, and
That's what
that's
Joe
why I
Chiaffi
just
says.
and that's why I just said I'm being sarcastic.
Yes, okay.
Okay.
Or as
Um.
Charlie Brown said to Violet, "Don't you know a little sarcasm when you see it?"
Exactly. All right. How about let's? Who's got Briller Jeopardy tonight? Do I have it or? Yeah,
I
I
think
have
you
it.
have it.
Okay, I
I
have it.
think it's for you.
Okay. Let's see. It is me, and let's go through this. Hold on a second. I gotta find it. Okay, we're still on this new thing with average snowfalls for the month of December. We got the next five cities. Tonight we start with Boston.
I will say for Boston, I will say 5.
I will say for Boston that you're too darn low.
Oh,
So
well.
there. And Steve Lapointe, the first one to post it, and he posts the right number, 9. 9. Give him a bell ring.
There you go, Steve.
Okay. Next on the list is Cleveland.
Oh, God.
Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm going to say, you know
Not
what
Cleveland, Georgia, not Cleveland, Tennessee, Cleveland, Ohio.
I will say 18.
You will say 18, and I will say you are wrong. Again, well, you're too high. You're actually too high. Um, so far, I'm seeing. Oh, there it is, Steve Lapointe again. Oh my God, and David with a bunch of letters and numbers next to you, also got 12. David V8N3S. God, why does YouTube do this? Um, and also Magnolia P. Joe, 12, an even dozen. An even dozen. Oh, and Mike Waterhouse Bonsai, of course. All right, the next one is Hartford.
Is where?
Hartford.
Oh, Hartford.
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 Home of the Hartford Insurance Company.
And home one time of the Travelers Weather Service. I used to listen to WTIC in Hartford to listen
Yeah.
to their meteorologists do the forecasts in
Yes.
Hartford. I'm going to say, what would you say for Boston?
9.
9. I'll say for Hartford, I'll say 8.
You had your instinct of going lower for a city that's south of Boston would be the logical thing to do, but it would not be the correct thing to do. David Fuller, though, gets it at everybody's getting it early tonight. Michael McGuire, Miss Fallerite, David Fuller, and I think that's it. And again, David Fuller. You got to put it up twice. 10. 10 for Hartford.
Okay.
Now, I will tell you that this city is definitely already beaten its normal for this year because
Richmond.
well, yes, they may have beaten it for the whole winter. Um, Indianapolis,
This is for December now.
yes.
Ah, 6.
6 for Indianapolis, Joe. I will tell you that by going with 6, it is neither too low nor is it too high. Which means you got it on the nose.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And by the way, we're only 9 away from 100 likes.
Okay.
So
And Louisville finishes this off.
Louisville, home of WHAS. I listened to that at 8:40 on the AM dial. Um, I will say for Louisville, I will say 4.
Yeah, it's a little high. I actually think, I would have thought Louisville's December number might have been a little higher than this, but Patrick Darcy and Jason Schaefer and Adam Lowe and Northern Grace and David with V8 N3S and David Fuller. I guess they're two different people. And Mr. TRWS and Mike Waterhouse Bonsai all get it right with two mints in one.
Yeah.
And the bonus tonight is Caribou, Maine.
Oh, oofa.
Caribou, Maine.
Well, Boston to 10 for that. I'm going to say, I'll say 16.
Well, it was very, very smart of you to go robust, shall we say? However, not robust enough. Not robust enough. But I think we do have a winner. Do we have a winner?
That's for the likes. We went over 100 again, third consecutive night. Thank you for that.
All right,
And
Michael McGuire, Maggie P, who is Magnolia P, Maggie P, are all very, you're very close with your guess at 22. Okay, so it's either 21 or 23, folks. So somebody put up 21s are up there. Thank you, Patrick Darcy. Oh, it was brilliant. How you got it, I can't imagine. Marky D and CWTR Shark 23, Joe 23 for Caribou. And I did pull up some snow amounts, by the way, from the great state of Virginia and North Carolina as well. In Virginia, I'm just going to give a few. I'll jump around. In Amelia County, Virginia, Joe, Southwest Jetersville got 6.8, but South Jetersville got 6.5. All right, so there's that. In Brunswick County, Alberta got 6. Caroline County, 2 miles southwest of Dawn, Virginia, 2.2. Okay, so this is I think Dave lives in Chesterfield County. Matacoa got 6. Meadowville 6. Southwest Beach 5.3. Centralia 5.3. So mostly 5 and 6 inch amounts there. Southwest Chesapeake Airport in the city of Chesapeake County at 1.7. What else? I'm trying to find Richmond here. In the city of Newport News, Virginia, Joe, Oyster Point got 7 inches. Menchville got 6.9. There's just no sense of fairness here. Petersburg County, West Northwest Petersburg got 6.6, while West Petersburg got 6.2. Downtown Richmond, Joe, 3.8. 2 miles north of downtown Richmond, 3.8. I don't know if that's the downtown or the airport. It's probably the airport that's got the let's call it the official number, but it's not posted here. In Dinwiddie County, have you been to Dinwiddie County, Virginia?
No,
I have.
if you were showing the maps, I might say yes, but a lot of people have been saying no, they're not seeing anything. But I don't think you wanted to show the maps.
Yeah, I don't have. I didn't show the map. Hebron got 7. Ford got 7. Again, this was the second in 4 days for these people. You get the idea, folks. It snowed a lot in Virginia, back to back systems in early December. I don't think I could ever remember that happening in my long career. But there's always a first time. All right. I guess we can call it a night, and we are, of course, going to be back for the last show of the work week tomorrow. Again, we'll let you know tomorrow if we're going to add a show. So we'll let Joe and I will talk about it, and then we'll let you know tomorrow what we're going to do. So everybody have a great night and a good Thursday, and we'll see you tomorrow night.
And thank you for the 103 likes, our third consecutive century of likes.
Yes. We'll see you tomorrow.
Good night, all.